high-voltage power pole carrying thousands of volts suddenly collapsed and fell into the lake. Hundreds of fish in the water were instantly electrocuted. The fisherman on the lake was scared to death. If he wasn't careful, he would fall out of the kayak and end up like the fish. At this critical moment, he called for emergency rescue. However, when the rescue team arrived at the scene, they found that the high-voltage electricity in the water had already reached the shore and spread to the surrounding ground. So even though the fisherman was just over 10 meters ahead, they didn't dare rush in to rescue him. After thinking for a moment, the bold Jimmy got out of the car. Although he wore insulated boots, he didn't dare walk normally. He could only move forward slowly with his feet close together. Otherwise, his 2 feet would form a step voltage and electrocute him. This short distance of just over 10 meters took him more than 10 minutes to walk. But when he reached the shore, the first thing he did was not to save the person, but to write down the power pole's number and report it to the captain on the vehicle roof. He thought this would get the power company to cut off the high voltage. But the power company manager thought this would cause huge losses, so he refused the captain's request. With no other choice, Jimmy had to move again to a shore area with relatively weaker voltage. Then he had the fisherman throw out the fishing line from his rod. After several attempts, Jimmy finally caught the fishing line. And what came next was the real challenge. The fisherman needed to hold the rod with one hand and release the line with the other. And the speed of releasing the line had to match Jimmy's pulling speed. Only this way could they avoid the line touching the water. Finally, through their coordinated cooperation, the kayak was successfully pulled to shore. But as soon as he stepped on the ground, the fisherman, who had no common sense, started running in big steps. Fortunately, the captain reminded him in time, and he changed to shuffling his feet and successfully left the high-voltage area. But the rescue plan wasn't finished yet. A driver was still trapped in a truck on the shore, and this accident was caused by him. An hour earlier, he suddenly passed out from high blood pressure, causing the truck to lose control and crash into the power pole. To save him, the rescue team moved the kayak onto the vehicle roof. Then they drove the vehicle next to the truck. Then they threw the kayak on the ground. Since the kayak was an insulator, they could safely step inside it. Jimmy's plan was to lift the truck driver into the kayak, then use the hook on the vehicle to hook the kayak. After everything was ready, the captain would start reverse gear. He thought this would successfully drag the kayak to a safe area, but after just a few meters, the vehicle suddenly malfunctioned and stopped. Fortunately, the ambulance they had called earlier finally arrived at the scene. But even so, the entire rescue process was very difficult. Because there was electricity on the ground, only Jimmy dared to move on the ground. He struggled to lift one end of the kayak and handed it to his teammates on the vehicle roof. Then everyone worked together to push the kayak upward. Finally, through everyone's efforts, the kayak successfully crossed over the vehicle roof. Then the medical staff from the ambulance came to help and lifted the truck driver from the kayak into the ambulance. Only then did the rescue team breathe a sigh of relief.